Okay, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly game master this evening. Because today I'm joined by our stalwart regular Jeff to create his character for Green Ronin's modern age role-playing game in the Threefold setting. Jeff's going to be joining our Sunday sessions, or Sunday adventure, playing Threefold. And he doesn't have a character, so rather than making him wait it out, we figured we'd do a quick Sunday or Monday night session to roll up his character, so he is ready to go. And then also, I guess I'm ready to actually play your character. So now, Jeff, we had played Dragon Age before too, but do you remember much about that game?
Almost nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So then we'll go in fresh and assume that we're going to, we'll just kind of go right from the get-go, and we'll explain stuff as we go here. So, first up is, I'm looking at page 11 of the character creation section in the Modern Age Basic Rulebook. First one is concept, but to be honest, because we're doing random creation here, we don't really need to worry about that. It's more going to be seeing the character as he comes to, or she comes together.
Absolutely. Okay, wait, before we start,
Yep.
Can we just take like 2 minutes, and I watched the session where you made everyone else's character, but can we just review them in a nutshell, what the other three characters are?
Yes. So we have Brent's as yet unnamed character, who is a kind of like a veteran who was guarding this door into some, he didn't realize it at the time, but it was a door to like a pocket dimension.
Right.
And let's see here, Ingolf's character, Ro, it was a test subject. He was a psychic cryokineticist who was being trained to sort of fly these floating kind of jellyfish type things.
Yeah.
And we don't know much about his dimension or the reason for it or whatnot. We just know that he was in there and he escaped. And then he found the soldier. And Mo's character is it's called an attune. What is it? No, a tuner, a tractor, and she is kind of like someone who, I think we've played GURPS before with the weirdness magnet, where it's someone who's like weird shit seems to happen to her. So she was like a paranormal investigator, charming and kind of the chatty character of the group. She had infiltrated this facility to try and find out what was going on. When she had asked Brent's character about, like, hey, what's going on here? And he kind of gave her no mind until this psychic kid kind of escaped. And then he and the psychic kid found her, and then the three of them have made their escape from the facility.
Right, and so they're sort of on the run from
whoever it was.
Shady organization or whatever this thing is. Okay.
Precisely, yeah.
And so Brent's character is like a mercenary?
He's like a soldier.
Or was it a military operation? Like, was he actually military?
He was military for sure. Whether this was still military, it could be like a subcontracted military facility.
Okay.
Yeah, like he was a veteran who had otherwise seen like the world at large, as far as most characters and most NPCs are concerned, is a normal place. It's not like there's dragons in the sky or stuff like that. So this was really like a world-changing thing. The way the setting can be played, like there's some pretty good advice in the Threefold book about whether you want to like have everything in it, like all the crazy different dimensional stuff, or whether you want to kind of keep it low key or located to a certain area. And I'm preferring to, like, my sensibilities lend themselves more towards that low key start, and then to slowly introduce more strange concepts.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So that's what the other characters are. So we'll have to see how yours pans out. Now, first thing we need to do that actually involves rolling is to determine your abilities. Now, I'm on page 12 of the PDF. This has the sheet. What we do is we roll 3d6 for each of your attributes going down, and then I believe you can switch places.
Swap one later.
Yeah, you can swap.
I was just gonna say, you let the guys sort of finish their characters so that they could swap something meaningful for where they ended up.
Yep, and I'll do the same thing for you.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so let's go take a look at your character sheet here.
So there are 9 in order, I believe, right?
Yes, they are. So first one is... Oh, let me get this out of the way so I can show... There we go. Got your thing. So first thing you roll is accuracy. Give us a 3d6 roll, please.
Oh, a 0. No accuracy.
6.
I thought for a second 6 might be a negative.
Oh.
It's not.
So 0 for accuracy. Next up, communication. Give us a 3d6. 14 is a 2.
Okay.
Then constitution.
Up was to do the same roll.
That's right. Up is to do the same thing, yeah. 12 is a 2 as well. Not bad. Next up is dexterity. 15.
Whoa.
That's a 3. Holy smokes.
Dexterity, good.
Yeah. Then fighting. 12 is a 2. Then intelligence. A 6. Ooh, another 0. Okay, and then perception. 11. 11 is a +1. Or a 1 at least. And then strength. 16. Wow, 3. Whew.
So I'm physical right now.
Pretty physical, yeah. And then the last one is willpower.
Ooh,
7. Ooh,
0.
boy. 0 again.
So I'm real up and down.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm not too smart, not too accurate, not a lot of willpower, but I'm sort of a physical character at this point. Interesting. Okay.
So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going now to page 30 of the Threefold book. This is the background. So first thing we need to do is... Oh, we need to determine your class first. So your social class is on page 13 of the core rulebook. Give us a D6 roll.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
Sorry, I'm catching up in the book.
That is quite all right. I got them both sitting in front of me.
Upper class.
6 upper class. Pretty cool. That's the only upper class character we've got so far, I think.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was an outsider, a lower, and a middle, actually.
Yeah. So then, since you are an upper class, give us another D6 roll. This will give you your background origin.
Okay.
A 5. Unearthly. Interesting. Okay, so upper class unearthly background. Give us a D6 roll again.
Okay. Where are the unearthly?
I'm on page 30 of the Threefold book.
Oh, upper class unearthly. Okay, so now it's in the right side there.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So one more D6.
Another 5.
Warrior
Caste. Pretty cool. So let's take a look at your warrior caste background. All right. In your world, whichever that might be, being a warrior exemplifies the best of your people. Tools of your trade may be something as simple as swords and spears, or as sophisticated as high-tech energy weapons. But the prestige mastery of arms bestows upon you is the same regardless. Yours is the blood that is shed, and so yours are the spoils of victory and the mandate to rule, whether it takes the form of a feudal sovereignty, or the right to vote, or hold office on your world. So, your ability is you get +1 to your fighting. So your fighting will go up by 1.
So where's fighting?
Fighting is one of your attributes.
Oh. So it goes from 2 to 3.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And then what you're going to do is you get to choose a focus between fighting, heavy blades, or intelligence tactics. Now, what focuses are, if we go to the powers... so the focuses tab of your character sheet.
Focuses tab. Yep. Okay.
There you go. Great. Under... depending on which one you want to pick. Either tactics or heavy blades. Heavy blades goes under fighting.
Yeah.
And then the rating of it is a 2. In other games, there's a variety of different... Actually, in this one, too, if you add multiple experience picks for it, then you can increase it. But at default, your focus gives you +2 when you're using a focus.
Okay, so let's do that because, I mean, I have a 0 intelligence,
yeah,
and I have good fighting, so let's say he fights with some kind of heavy blade.
Okay, works for me.
So I add a focus called Heavy Blade.
Yep.
Heavy Blades.
And
is there a description, or...?
Rating is 2.
Is there a spot for that?
Yes, the little star next to it.
Oops. Oh, there.
Yeah, next to the dice.
Yeah.
But that is 2.
Okay.
Now go back to your character sheet, the character tab.
Yeah.
I'll show you something neat here. Boom. Look what's under fighting.
Oh yeah, okay. Heavy blades too.
Yeah. Okay. Then you also get a choice of a talent. What a talent is it's kind of like the modern age equivalent of like feats, but unlike feats, there's not just like one thing. They're tiered. There's 3 different tiers to it, and then you can, once you've picked a lower tier one, you can choose to continue on. Your 2 choices are Overwhelm or Tactical Awareness. And Tactical Awareness is on page 63 of the core rulebook, and Overwhelm is on page 61. Novice Overwhelm is you can balance precision and lethality. When you make an attack with a melee weapon, you can take up to -3 penalty to your attack roll and receive a corresponding bonus to your damage roll. So it's kind of like power attack. Tactical Awareness is you can seemingly attack from all directions. On foot, you can take the melee attack or ranged attack action at any point in your movement. So this is your shot on the run feat, basically.
Okay, so it's like overwhelm. It's like power attack or shot on the run.
Yeah,
really.
I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called shot on the run. So yeah, mobility. Overwhelm or tactical awareness. Well, which one do you think it fits more with your dude? You may note that there are requirements in there. At first level, you get to ignore whatever requirements there are.
Right. I mean, overwhelm. I guess fits where I'm headed with this character so far.
Sure. Okay.
So then they fight with a melee weapon no matter where they end up. So.
Okay. So then under powers.
Yep.
Go ahead and add something in there, and then you'll just fill in some information there.
Type or level?
Type or level. So the type is a talent.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, level is 1.
Source. Doesn't matter. Short description.
Source is... Oh, hold on here.
Oh, I see. Short description.
The short description is just the name, and then the description is what it actually... Like, what you've got in the description. I'm trying to remember... Let me take a look at how I filled out Brent's. I can't remember offhand. That was so long ago. Yeah, so what I put down was... Oh, here we go. Level. So the level, you put down novice. Source is talent. And then you put the name as the short description, and then the actual, what it actually does in the actual description. There you go, yeah. Okay. Pretty interesting. Okay, and then next thing we will be doing, once you've got that finished, is... So since your character is actually coming from a fantasy, or at least a... well, let's see how he comes together, and then what I'll let you do is if you want to come back and select one of the ancestries in Threefold, we can talk about that.
Okay.
Because the neat thing with it is that, so what ancestries do is it basically allows you to sub out what some of your background bonuses are for ancestral things. This is how you get your... And rather than having like a flat, just like these are elves, these are orcs, these are dwarves, there's kind of like broad categories of things that would fit within them. So they got like this thing called Arvu, and then what you get to pick is which of the ancestral traits that you pick that apply for your character. So you kind of get to custom build your character's ancestry, based on your concept, rather than being stuck with like all elves have X or all dwarves have Y.
Right.
So I think it's pretty interesting.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so then we are doing your profession. So if you can now, let me go back to the dice roller here. Boom.
And so, is this in the main PDF or the?
No, this is on page 42 of Threefold.
Okay, 42.
First, we're going to roll a d6 to see which chart we're rolling on, whether it's the Modern Age one, the Earthly, Modern Age, Earthly Threefold, or Unearthly.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, so you don't follow, you roll again, even though I'm unearthly, I could end up with an earthly...
Profession, yeah, like your background was unearthly, but I won. Ooh, Earthly Modern Age. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see here. Then that means your profession. Give us another. I'm now on page 18 of the core rulebook.
Okay.
Give us a D6 roll, please.
Sorry, I just want to go back to that page.
Sure.
I like to see what I'm doing.
Of course.
18. Professions. Okay, so we're in the upper class one?
That's right.
Okay, here we go.
And big money 3. A dilettante.
Interesting.
Okay. With so many possible things to learn and do, how can you choose? You're happy to sample from the banquet of possibilities laid out before you, learning as much as you can about something before moving on to the next. So your focus is either intelligence, research, or perception, and then you choose one. Let's see what the foci under perception are. I actually don't know what they are. Here we go. Perception focuses are on page 54.
Of the core book?
Of the core rulebook, yeah, sorry. So it's either research under intelligence or one of those perception focuses, which are empathy, hearing, searching, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, or tracking.
Oh. Why don't we go with tracking?
Tracking, nice. A reminder, too, you're going to be able to switch one of your attributes as well, too.
Right.
So just because you got them there, too, like to fit whatever concept that comes together here, you're going to have an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
So tracking, cool. Then just add that as one of your focuses.
Yep, so under perception.
Yep.
Focus is tracking.
Then you get your
So it'll be 2 as well? For the value?
Yes, yeah. The value of your focuses are always 2 to start with.
Right. Okay. And they don't really need a description?
They do not. No.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Then you get to pick a talent. Oh, why is Anna Banana barking? She's giving Jaden shit for eating food. How dare you have dinner?
Yeah, what are you doing? I'm here too.
All right, so first is improvisation, and the second is theory and practice. So improvisation, you can do a little bit of everything. You can make an ability test that requires a specific focus, even if you don't have that focus. You don't gain a focus bonus to your roll, and you don't generate stunt points on such rolls, but you are always considered to have a primary focus in investigations. So the reason that thing is useful is because there are times when you're doing certain tasks where you will need to have a certain focus in order to even attempt it. This is kind of a like trained versus untrained distinction in some games.
Yeah.
Where like, you know, if you don't have any training in picking locks, it's not something you can just try, right?
Right, you can't even try it.
Exactly. So what this does
Whereas
is
this would let me try it.
it would at least let you try it. And then what, you know, like if you choose to go further in that as you gain levels, as getting expert and master, you could become even more capable with that kind of improvisation.
Okay.
Hi, sweetie pie. What you making all that noise for?
So where do you get these things again?
I'm on page 58 for improvisation, and the second one was theory and practice.
Theory and practice.
Hi, honey. What's going on? This one is you can. Oh, that's tactical awareness. You can do the thing in theory. You can attempt a test using a knowledge focus related to the test at hand, but with a -1 penalty. If this would be a tangential investigation focus, you don't suffer the +1 increase in TN. What is this here? You can bring the weight of your knowledge focus to bear on any situation. A knowledge focus is an intelligence focus with a description that begins with knowing. Oh, interesting. So basically what it is, so for example, you could use intelligence security instead of dexterity sabotage to bypass an alarm. So this is your, you know, if you can think of how you could squirrel one of your intelligence foci into the situation before you, you can at least make a try. Your focus is 1 less. The 2 things that this does is it allows you to apply at least part of your focus bonus, and it allows you to do the same type of thing, where if you can justify the use of that intelligence focus on a non-intelligence focus activity that requires a different focus, you're able to do it. So you're trained instead of untrained.
Okay.
But I don't know if you have any intelligence focuses, do you, or that are knowing?
Not right now.
Not right now, no. Okay. So which one sounds... Improvisation is more... It's not quite as effective, and it does limit you with stunt points, but it applies to any situation. The theory in practice is something that you would just need to... I mean, there's some fun with that, where once you get a knowing knowledge focus, you can then try and squirrel that into, like... Well, I've read in my book about this stuff, so how hard could this be?
Right. They both require intelligence or willpower.
Remember, requirements are ignored for first level.
Right, I know, but I'm just saying, like, to be good at it, right? Or to keep moving up in it?
No, it's only to get them in the first place.
Oh.
Yep. Requirements are just to pick it up. That's to pick it up initially. And that's only after first level. Or, yeah, after first level. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with improvisation.
Nice.
So this is like the power thing, or what?
This is the same thing, yeah, under powers.
So the level is novice. Oops. And this is source profession?
The source is talent. Because it's not a... What the other powers are things like your... Like if you got psychic powers, or if you can use magic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, got your dilettante thing. I think that's going to be pretty neat, because that means you will be able to be, potentially involved in a lot of different scenes. There's also a neat, really neat mechanic for group activities, for like shared activities. And what this means is that you would be able to participate in a lot of those.
Does this work?
Okay.
Kind of.
So you came from a warrior background, but you've lived as a dilettante. So the other things you get from this is your starting health is equal to 15 plus your constitution.
Sorry, I'm just getting this.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no problem. Oh, and you can fill in your background and your profession as well, too. At the top of the sheet. Oh, yeah, I'll put your upper class.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Background was warrior caste.
Yeah.
And my profession is dilettante?
Dilettante, yeah.
I actually spell that.
Okay.
I don't know that I spelled that right. Wait, might still have it open. No. That was on page 18.
The
know.
dilettante? Page 20 of the basic book, or the core rule book.
Page 20. Dilettante. Okay, I did do it. Perfect. Okay.
All right.
So then I get health is 15 plus con.
Yeah, that's right. And your resources are an 8.
So that's on the main page?
I think it's on the character tab, yeah.
Speed.
Oh, so your health, put it under fortune. Fortune is what hit points are called in Expanse.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you just put both your max and that. And then your resources, I think, is...
So this is 17 for now, unless I end up moving my constitution.
Yeah, and we'll just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and then...
Resources, I don't think there is resources on this one, so you just maybe... I don't know.
Let's add it under equipment,
maybe? I think under persona, you could put it there. Like character notes?
Under relationships?
Sure.
Resources... 8.
Yeah.
Is that big?
8 is pretty high compared to, I think most of the other guys had like 3.
Okay. I was thinking, because, like, I mean, it being upper class and a dilettante, it would seem like you're connected and have resources at hand.
Absolutely. Okay, and then, so the next thing we're going to pick is your drive. Your character's drive. I'm on page 22 of the core rulebook.
Yep.
Wait, is there? Hold on. I'm going to see if there is a drive in Threefold. Okay, so that is profession, then talents, new specializations. No, there's no new drive. Cool. Okay. So drive is... Oh, and we randomly generated this for the guys as well, too. Choose... First, give us a D6 roll to see which column you're rolling on. 1 to 3 is column 1. 4 to 6 is column 2. So column 2, and then give us another D6 roll, please. 4. Rebel. All right, so Rebel's on page 24. Authority needs to be questioned. You may think all forms of authority are inherently oppressive and need to be brought down, or just that healthy institutions require periodic house cleaning by purging fires. Whatever the case, you threw out doing things by the book some time ago. Your quality is innovation. So you'll see there's a quality and a downfall that you'll include on the character sheet. Your quality is innovation, the ability to look at things from angles no one has ever considered and to do things your own way. Your downfall is defiance, a dislike of conformity, conventionality, and doing what you're told.
So do I put this somewhere, the quality and the downfall?
I think it's under the persona portion.
Yep.
Relationships, character notes.
I guess I could just put it in notes.
Hi, sweetie pie. What's going on? Where's your toy? Where's your toy?
So...
Where's your toy? Hey, go get your toy. Where's your toy?
Little goofball.
Just do this, and then take out these stupid return characters.
Okay. Oh shit! Sorry, Jeff. Sorry, I forgot that you're on the sheet. If I change it, then it'll change it for you.
Okay, there we go.
So you're considered affluent, based on your resource score of +8.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have a talent of expertise or improvisation.
Okay, so you picked improvisation already, so let's see what expertise does. Hey, hold on, Noisy. All right, I'll pet you. Gee. Hold on, sweetie pie. Good girl. Expertise. So you are a specialist in your field. You deepen your knowledge or skill with a specific focus. Select an ability focus you know and choose a narrower task or field. For example, you could choose hacking for intelligence computers or ghosts for willpower courage. You gain a +1 bonus to ability tests covered by the narrower task. You can select this focus multiple times, each time applying to a different focus. So basically...
So I only have one focus, don't I?
Do you only have one focus so far? Let's see here.
Or no, I have...
You got 2, don't you?
Oh, which is improvisation and...
No, improvisation is your talent. It's the focus. So go to the character tab, or you can go to the focus tab.
Tracking or heavy blades.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hold on.
So I could choose like a specific heavy blade or a specific type of tracking.
Yeah.
And then I would get an additional bonus in that?
Yes.
What is expertise on?
So what is expertise is on page... let's see here. Yep. It's in the talent section. It's on page 57.
Yeah.
So what it basically does is you pick one of the focuses you've got, and then you pick a narrower application of that focus. So you've got heavy blades right now, right?
Yeah.
So let's take a look and see what heavy blades are. What you would do is we look at to see what counts as a heavy blade as far as weaponry goes, and then we just count. You would pick one of those, and that would be your focus. So like, where is it here? heavy blades are like long sword and two-handed swords. So if you chose focus heavy two-handed sword, you'd get +1 when you're using two-handed swords, on top of the +2 you get from focus with heavy blades. If you went with tracking, it could be like tracking animals, or tracking, I don't know, humans. That would be a more narrow focus of it, and then you would get an extra +1 on top of the +2 you get from the focus.
Right.
Yeah. If you want to, you go back and take that, you could just take improvisation with this one and then go back and change it to theory and practice. That's the one that if you've got a knowledge focus, like an intelligence knowing focus, then you would be able to apply that. But I don't know if you'd prefer to take the expertise one instead.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm starting to try and put some of these things into like the characters or whatever.
Yeah. So how are you? Like, how's this guy coming together, or gal coming together so far? What do you?
Well, I mean, they're looking very physical.
Yeah.
And with the tracking and the like, I don't know. Maybe I'm some sort of a tracker or someone, like a bounty hunter or something like that. And
well, you are a dilettante, though. You're a dilettante, and you're a rebel, and you just happen to come from a warrior caste. That's your profession has been kind of trying a bunch of different things.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing here.
So what about options for tracking? You were saying like could be like humans or...
Yeah, you just like there's not necessarily let me double check, but I don't think there is a list of no, there's just a list of what the different foci do. So it's really just for us to figure out what the more.
Yeah, I see. Right, like it's not like...
Yeah. And it's whatever the category becomes, then that becomes just the narrowest. The narrow category. Like I wouldn't, something that'd be too broad to be like land-based. Like that's just, well, then what tracking would not be on the land. Whereas like tracking humans or tracking vehicles or tracking animals,
Well, so like, I mean, we're starting with like on the edge of the weirdness.
Yeah.
Like, what if it was like tracking down sort of anomalies or like things that are weird, like, sort of like how Mo is naturally runs into these weird things. My character is like, he's a dilettante. He's looking for new and interesting things. So he's looking for the weird parts of the world.
You could have been one of the characters working with the others to get everyone out too. Like you could have come from some unnatural place, right? And you just happen to be like press ganged into working in this organization.
Right.
Right? Because
but obviously I rebel against it because that's who I am.
Yep. And that's why maybe Mo's character Amber found a ready companion in you, because you were ready to fight against this shit anyway. Perhaps you were working for the organization against your will.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
And I mean, maybe that's why I befriended Amber, is because I like tracking down sort of these weird things and stuff. I found her, and things are just attracted to her. Like,
so the way that basically the alternate worlds are kind of organized is into 3 different categories. Hence, kind of threefold. One of them is alternate Earths, which is like alternate history. It's any kind of alternate history thing you can imagine. One of them is it's basically like fantasy realms, or like realms of myth or legend. And then the other is neither worlds, and that can be like hell or I'm trying to think. The
totally alien
Valhalla, it's awful. Yeah. It's really awful, places. It's demons and devils and shit like that.
Right.
And there are, but I mean, that's not to say that they're, completely uninhabited. There's plenty of inhabitants that are there too, and there's different powers that are aligned with each of those 3 different kind of broad categories: the neither worlds, the alternates, and then the mythic realms.
Yeah. So we're starting on an alternate history Earth.
No, in a modern day regular Earth.
Oh, okay.
You guys
We're
don't know.
starting on the normal Earth.
Yeah, your characters don't really know much beyond whatever their direct experience is with the other world. Mo's character knows nothing about alternate Earths apart from chasing mysteries and rescuing this one kid. Same thing with Brent's character. And the only thing that Ingolf's character knows, is that he came from some alternate thing. So maybe this is where your character came from you were a child of some warrior, race or ancestry, or warrior people at least, in one of either the mythic realms or the netherworlds, and that's where they made you work for the organization. And then when you had the opportunity to sort of, break out, you did.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So, what do you think? Like, let's take a look back at the.
I'm gonna go with expertise in some form of heavy blades.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you're a warrior. So do you want to be, are you human from one of these Fey realms, or do you want to pick one of the ancestries to?
I mean, we could look at them and see what they are.
Sure. So the ancestries start on page 37 of Threefold.
Yeah, and where do I put expertise?
Expertise will be, it's one of your talents, so it goes under the powers. You put it as novice, you put it as a source's talent, and then you add in what it does. And I think you can add a note to your foe. No, because it only applies in certain circumstances. You're just going to need to bear that in mind.
So, expertise in heavy blades.
Yeah.
And what did you say my two options were for that? Two-handed or
tracking. Oh, sorry, the two weapons. Yeah, sorry, two-handed or longsword.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I may have more options for you, too.
Yeah, we'll just leave that for now. I'll just put expertise heavy blades.
Because I think that I just got a bunch of Fantasy Age stuff that showed up today in the mail, because when I knew I was going to run Threefold, I wanted to have more fantasy stuff to have access to. So I might have some nifty other weapons, because I'm pretty sure it's all cross-compatible. Oh, in fact, let me check the Modern Age Companion quickly. I wonder if the Modern Age Companion has extra weaponry in it. Let's see. Technology, equipment modification. That's pretty cool. Nifty. Pretty cool character coming together, though.
Yeah.
Okay, explosives. Nope, it's not in there. So let's see here. Fantasy Age core rulebook. Let's see. Heavy blades. So I think there's a bastard sword in Fantasy Age as well, too. It's only one extra weapon, but it does give you at least one more choice to select from. Armor and shields, missile weapons. So, heavy blades covers bastard swords, long swords, or two-handed swords.
So I guess I'd have to look at those weapons. I'll pick one when we get to that.
Well, even don't worry. I wouldn't worry too much about the stats, because we haven't run the game yet. So I would just pick something that's thematically cool for your character. What do you think fits for how you're envisioning this character?
Well, I don't even really know the difference between.
And that's what I'm saying. Just think of what thematically seems cooler. Do you want to be a one-handed sword fighter, or do you want to be a two-handed sword fighter?
Well, probably two-handed.
Awesome. And actually, if you want to split the difference, we can use a bastard sword.
Right.
Yeah. So, and basically, the damage difference is that a longsword does, I think it's 2d6, two-handed sword is 3d6, and a bastard sword is 2d6 plus 1.
Right. No, I see him using a big, huge,
big fuck-off sword.
Conan sword, right?
Yep. Works for me.
Seeing as he's a three fighting...
I forgot one thing. We got to go back.
Yep.
So we got to get your Caste benefit. I fucking forgot that. Sorry. So I'm on page 36 of your of the background. It's on Warrior Caste, and I think I forgot to roll something randomly for your profession as well too. But here we go. So give us a 2d6 roll. I'm on page 36 of Threefold.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Just scroll up there. Oh yeah, Warrior Caste. Yep. Oh yeah, we didn't do this at all.
Not at all. Right. So go ahead and give us a 3d6 or 2d6 roll, please.
Yeah. 2d6.
For those listening at home, this is why it's careful to read everything that's on the page. 3, focus accuracy with bows.
Interesting.
Yeah. So under accuracy, just add the focus for bows. It's at 2 as well.
So under accuracy. Oh, it's like another
focus.
Oh, okay.
So that's another one you could have a +1 with as well, should you choose.
So focus.
Yeah.
Bows. That's a 2. So I might want to change my accuracy since I have that.
Yeah.
I can figure that out at the end.
And I kind of dig that, like, you got Brent's character who's the modern, kind of fighter or whatnot, and you're the, melee.
Yeah, I'm turning into like an actual, like, I don't know, a ranger from D&D or something.
Yeah.
He's like a fish out of water a little bit here.
Totally.
In a modern world. I like it.
Okay. And yeah, that is one of my favorite. I recently reordered D20 Modern and Urban Arcana because of like a series of 3 sessions I ran for Brent and James back in like 2001. I enjoyed those things so much because it was basically like modern D&D. It was so awesome. That's what your character reminds me of.
Oh, totally.
Okay, so speaking of ancestries, we're starting on page 37. So, again, like these are sort of broad concepts, and then within those concepts you can fit the specific kind of like race or ancestry that you're from. So Arvu, it says also known as Elf, Eos, Sea, Elves, Fairy Folk, Managishi, She, Selenos, or Yosei. And then what you can do is if... let's see, your background ability increase. So what you do is you take a look at your background benefits, and then you can swap either the background focus that you get, the background ability increase, the background talent, or the background benefits to select a ancestry trait.
Oh. Wait. What can I get rid of?
So,
I changed one of the background things I got?
I'm looking on page 36.
Which my background is Warrior Caste.
Ancestry supplement a character's background as follows. So instead of getting the ability increase that you got, which was +1 fighting, you could replace it with one ancestral trait. So then you'll see each of the different ancestries has a bunch of traits listed under them. So like, as an example, the Arvu have Arcane Education, Beast Tongue, Dark Sight, Hunter, Kana Born, which is, Kana is a source of magic in this setting, Grace, Roots of the Arvu, Stalker, Tail, or Trickster. So the way you could do is you could swap out, instead of getting the +1 to fighting, you could get one of those. In, let's see here, you could replace the background talent that you got, which was fighting heavy blades, with your... Was that the focus? No, the talent was Overwhelm. You could replace that with one of the ancestry traits. Or you can replace what you got on the benefit. No, actually you can't. So the background focus, the background benefits, you can choose to select those that fits your ancestry. But the way you get the ancestral traits is by giving up either the talent or the stat bonus.
Yeah, which I kind of made my guy around now, so I don't think I'll do that.
You only go do that? Okay. Yeah. Now, even though you are not choosing to give up any of the ancestral traits, you still could be from one of these other ancestries.
Right.
If you choose. Like, I don't think I don't think you have to buy in on one of these things.
No.
Yeah, and then you... Oh, here we go. So you may replace the character's background ability increase or talent increase instead of both with a single ancestral trait. Oh, I see. So you actually, if you're applying the ancestry, sorry, I'm doing this wrong. You have to replace take an ancestral trait instead of the stat bonus, and you have to take an ancestral trait instead of your talent, and then the other two things you pick. And then what you have an option of doing is doing a partial trait, which is you only get 1. So you're like a half-blood, I guess, of the ancestry. But that, I mean, it does seem to be a substantial reworking of your character at this stage.
Yeah, no, let's just leave him how he is.
Sure, so he's a human from some other... now, do you think he's... I mean, it sounds like you're leaning in the direction of a fantasy kind of world. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, cool. Then, let's go back to your drive then, because we were talking about your rebel nature. You took your expertise. Now, you also get a choice of an improvement. And what the improvements do, you have a choice of either relationship, reputation, or resources. If you pick resources, it bumps your resources up by 2, so you start with a 10 instead of an 8. If you pick relationship, you would get a relationship at intensity 1, and what that means is like you got a contact somewhere, and then you can, when you're making use of the social, rules, you would be able to get, I think you get 1 free stunt point when you're making those, making checks in relation to that.
Yeah.
And the last one is reputation, and reputation works kind of like giving you a free stunt point when your thing would apply. Is it? Hold on. Maybe it's not a stunt point. Maybe it's a... It's on chapter 10. I can't remember if it's a stunt point or if it adjusts the difficulty, the target number. Let's see here. Where's reputation? Oh, it depends how you're using it. That's right. So there's some... This is a neat mechanic as well, too. So a passive reputation mean that people may have a predisposition towards you depending on what your reputation is. Like if you're a reputation for a, master thief, other criminals might think you're pretty badass, but cops won't like you that much, and your reputation will apply that way. You can have inspired reputation, which is to try and like jazz people up. You like rely on your reputation. It then gives +1 to the result of your stunt die. And the stunt die is what's used to, like, I keep mentioning the stunt die. The way that works, as a reminder, is you roll 3d6. One of the dice is a different color. That's your stunt dice. If you roll doubles, then what you do is you generate stunt points equal to what's on the stunt die, and then you get to spend them to do kind of cool things, just like advantage or momentum in Fantasy Flight Star Wars or like Conan, respectively.
Yeah.
In addition, stunt die is what's used to kind of judge the quality of your success. So it does, even if you don't roll doubles, it tells us how good of a thing you do. So like if you're doing an extended test, your stunt die result, if you're successful, will add to the total that you're trying to reach in order to complete that extended test.
Right.
So what that does is if you're trying to inspire people, that would add to your stunt dice, which would either speak to the quality of the success or give you more stunt points if you roll doubles. And then the final one is pure reputation or personal reputation, which is if you are having a contested roll against someone where your reputation would apply, they get a penalty to it equal to your reputation. So,
okay.
Reputation, relationship...
I think I like the idea of upping my resource score from the normal 8 all the way to 10.
Sounds good to me. 10 puts you at wealthy.
Rich.
Yeah.
Or wealthy, yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay.
It's kind of an abstract thing, but I like it. It's rich.
Yeah, and it definitely...
wealthy.
It does come up, like you make tests to purchase stuff. So
Yeah.
that'll be cool. All right. So then, equipment is the next thing. Let me just quickly go back and make sure I didn't miss any other...
Okay, well, now that we're done this, I think I'm just going to swap my communication with my accuracy.
Sounds good. Yep, that makes sense.
Since I have a bow accuracy skill, and I don't really have anything in communication.
Yeah, you're
I'll
definitely...
just leave my tracking as 2 with a 1. That's fine.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
So that part's all done.
Excellent. All right. Then, let's see here. We need to calculate your health. We've calculated. We need to calculate your defense. Your defense is equal to 10 plus your dexterity.
Okay, that's automatically on there, it seems.
Okay. Your toughness is equal to your constitution, I think. Yes. Yeah. So here's another neat thing about the game is that there are different modes in which you can play it. You can play it in gritty, in pulpy, or in cinematic. And that's kind of like a sliding scale of how deadly things are. And here's a cool thing with the setting. Depending on what world you're in, you may have different rules apply.
Right.
So
cool.
We're starting in the gritty setting of the modern day Earth, but if you're in a lot of the mythic realms, it is cinematic. And then the nether worlds are often pulpy.
Cool.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. That's a really clever implementation of a multi-genre setting. I don't think I've ever seen that before in like GURPS or Hero or something like that. I think it's gonna be neat to see in play. Your speed is equal to your 10 plus your dexterity. And then we are using the optional rules for conviction. Conviction is the meta currency that you used. It's like the meta narrative currency, or narrative meta currency, I guess, that you use to adjust dice rolls and things like that. And you start off with 3 points of conviction.
Yep.
Then what you do is we got to pick your gear. So modern age, your character starts off with ordinary clothing, the essential tools or items of the character's profession, and any weapon the character has an associated focus or talent for using. So you're going to have a big fuck-off sword, you're going to have clothes appropriate, and a bow.
And a bow, yeah.
Yep. And clothes appropriate for your thing. This is going to be really cool.
Yeah, this is funny.
Yeah. So the let's see here. Yeah, I think then we also have there are ties. Let's see here. Try and come up with one tie for each of the other characters. Well, it sounds like we've got some rough ideas for it. And then we're going to talk about goals. So it's a set short-term or long-term goals. But I'm going to send you guys a little bit more about the where you guys fit in the world. Like, you're going to have, each of you will have some, what do you call it? Some contacts or like some resources you're going to be able to draw on. And we'll address that when, in the first session.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
So where are these items? Do you have them?
Items, they're in the core rulebook, and they're on page...
Like, should I just add them right now?
Yeah, you can... I mean, if you feel there's other stuff you should have, feel free to do that. But I mean, it's got to be... It's really just, like, the essential tools is all you're starting with. Part of the fun of the game is having to get the other stuff you need. And your character's incredibly wealthy, so... that's definitely going to be an asset for other people. Your sword is going to be found on page 72 of the core rulebook. Oh, excuse me, my goodness.
There it is.
Yeah. And a bow...
So I added here under just where it says attack?
Yes. So I think, for those listening at home, forgive me, I think I've had my face hidden for most of this time because I've had my head down. Sorry. So, and then weapons, bows are on page 73. What is your starting health?
17.
17, okay, whoa! So these guns and stuff do a lot of damage, holy smokes.
Two-handed sword. Reload. So, damage is 3d6.
Mm-hmm.
Range is probably just whatever.
Hold on. For which ones? For the bows?
Well, like it's like melee or whatever.
Oh, for the, melee for the sword. Stun, it's wounding, not stun damage. It is impaling, is that right? Type damage. Impact damage. Impact, penetrating, or ballistic.
So, okay, there's not really a spot for that, right?
No, I actually don't know. And the damage will be 3d6. I think you add your strength to that as well. It may do that automatically if there's a...
So now, the roll... So when I use it, I get +3 to my attack? Is that correct? Because it's a heavy blade and I have an expertise in it?
What is the range reload roll?
Is that the point of this heavy blades thing?
Say again, sorry?
Well, like when I roll it, like the reason I took this focus of heavy blades is I got +2 when I use my sword, right?
Yes, so what you do is click on heavy blades. You can go ahead and see in the chat. Boom. Okay, so you rolled a 7, plus the ability focus, plus the ability, plus the focus. So why does it not total it? Huh.
I guess I have to.
Hold up, let me see if there rolls. Prompt for aim, no. Show the character name, yes. Never whisper rolls, yes. I guess there isn't an option there. So we'll just have to add it up. That's not the end of the world. Doing simple arithmetic. Ugh, asking so fucking much of us, game. So that's what is that? 7, 10, 12. So let's say what's your defense?
13.
13. So you would have narrowly missed you, but you would have hit, let's say, I don't know, nameless, minion number 1.
Right.
So then...
So should I put another +1 when it's the two-handed sword?
Yes, you would also add 1 more to that.
Should I just add that to the focus?
No, because that's always in heavy blades, and there is a way of getting XP to raise that up by 1. You'll just have to remember to add that in.
Or should I just put another focus and put...
Try adding something in the description. Add +1 with two-handed sword. I don't know, honestly, if that... And you should be able to roll that from your from the dice there as well.
Right, from right here.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't add it. Weird.
Oh, dang. Now what happens when you roll...
Well, I'll just have to remember it.
Yeah. Okay. So the neat thing is, if you did hit with that too, your first one there, Jeff. So your first roll was a 3, 3, 1 plus 3 plus 2.
Yeah.
So that would, let's say that hits. You would have stunted because you rolled doubles. And then,
okay.
And then you'd have 1 stunt point. So then what we would do is we take a look at the stunt table, and I'm gonna upload the stunt tables as handouts for you guys to open up, so you can just take a look at them. But I have, where's my handouts? With the DM screen, you get these helpful.
So the rolls are 3d6.
Yes. And then the one that is has the blue circle around it, that's your stunt dice. Or blue square around it.
Oh, meaning it would actually have a different color if you were playing the game.
Yeah, if you're playing the game, what we do is like take, 2 white and 1 red d6s, and you'd roll that, and that one would be your stunt dice.
Right, okay.
So, and to give you an idea what you could do with that, where's combat stunts? Combat stunts... There are a lot of stunts in the game, and what I don't want to have is the game bogged down into us trying to find the ideal one. What the game suggests is pick like 3 to be aware of, and then just use those, and then think of some other... If you really have something you want to try, we can go back to the stunt table, but like to give you an idea, so these are all the stunts that apply for combat. And the up top here, these are the general combat ones, and this is the melee combat ones.
Wow, okay.
So they include things like parry. Your opponent suffers -1 to defense for each stunt point spent until your next turn, as you guide their limb or weapon askew. Footwork. You maneuver effortlessly, gain +1 stunt point spent to 1 combat-related test of your choice before the end of your next turn. 1 could also give you +3 to your initiative. Could give you +1 to your defense. It could give you +2 health until the end of your next turn. You could spend 1 to stand ready to interpose yourself between an ally and danger. You could move yourself or your target attacks target 2 yards in any direction for each stunt point spent. Or you could immediately arm yourself with anything in your environment that you could reasonably wield. So, like, there's an enormous amount of opportunity to kind of, like, affect the... And then if you... That's only the 1-point stunt things. The more stunt points you generate, the bigger, like, results you can get. Like, there is... What is it called? Vicious Blow. For 2 stunt points, you could add an extra d6 to the damage.
Cool.
So instead of doing 2d or 3d6, you could do 4d6. And you decide your stunt spends after the result. It's gonna I foresee it's gonna take us some getting used to kind of get in the swing of these, just to be aware of what ones are available and how they work and at the table. Yeah, I think that if it's just gonna be a matter of learning, right?
Yeah.
So great, you got your longbow, you got your thing, and your is your strength 0 or is your strength a bonus?
My strength is a 3.
Okay, so your two-handed sword would be 3d6 plus 3 then, because you get to add your strength as damage, and you get to add, I think it's your accuracy to your longbow to range damage.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
3d6 plus 3, and then the longbow just said it did 1d6 plus 3.
Oh, cool. Then you can add your...
So it would be 1d6 plus 5.
Correct.
Sweet.
Correct. Let me make sure I got that right here. So. Inflicting damage. Add your strength ability to melee. Add perception, not accuracy. Perception ability to damage with ranged weapons.
Oh, perception. Okay, so
sorry about that. Yeah.
No problem. Now I'd like to start with one other item, if you're cool with it.
What's that?
I'd like to say that my character has a bicycle.
Sure.
He loves it. It's like his mountain bike. He brings it everywhere. He's like, you know, like if they're fleeing from something, and he'll be like, my bike, and he'll like run back for his bike, and
totally fine.
It's like his thing. He always has his bike.
Absolutely, which will actually be kind of cool because Ingolf's character, one of his sort of special abilities is that he's like a master of any kind of transportation.
Oh, cool.
So it'll be kind of funny to see, like, you know, him outside the shitty motel that you guys are hiding out in, and he's riding around your bike. You're like, no, my bike!
Yeah, totally.
Oh, gosh. Okay, cool. So I think we got your character all set here.
I guess I need a name and
you do, and then kind of think of what he's going to be looking like, how old he was when he was taken from whatever, you know, world he's at. You can give some thought to what his world was like as well.
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking that he was taken after an age where he was trained in these sort of fantasy weapons.
Yeah.
So,
does he still have like the weapons he has? His longbow, his sword, his two-handed sword. These are things that he that are from his world.
I think so.
So maybe he's never been back, right? Like he was taken.
He's never. Yeah,
and then transferred different facility, and you don't know where. Like I think you're familiar in passing, at least, with you know, what if we did this? What if we had so we don't have two kind of like, what's this thing? You know, kind of. What if your character's familiarity with everything is through TV? So like that gives you some sensibility, some like, you know, familiarity with modern worlds or whatnot, but maybe like you misunderstand, like you expect things to play out like how they do in a sitcom, or how they do in a medical drama or stuff like that, or maybe even like if you really want to go broad, you could go with soap operas. Like maybe soap operas were the thing that you were exposed to, so you keep thinking there's going to be like crazy twists and whatever to circumstances, and that would play nicely with Mo's character because with his attuner ability, it'll often work out that way.
Right. Well, I think he's just going to be like a TV fanatic. So like,
yeah,
he'll think he'll think the hospital functions like the medical drama. He'll think that, you know, police are like from, you know, the cop shows.
Love it.
Or whatever his favorite cop show
that's
is,
great.
You know?
So that way, Ingolf can play his character as truly out of his element. You can play your character as this like TV junkie who's got a really skewed view of how the world works, and Brent's character can be the like no nonsense veteran who's like, it doesn't work like that. Stop doing that.
Yeah, I'm almost gonna. Maybe I should pick. I'll think about it. Like he might have chosen a name, like an Earth name now.
Yeah.
He might have moved past.
Oh
So
my
like, and he
God.
might have like named himself after like a TV show.
Yeah, I
like
was just thinking. Oh, I love it. That'll be
Yeah.
really funny.
So I'm gonna think about that a little bit
Well,
and be like,
especially if it's something that is so, like, you know, like Luke Skywalker, you know, where like everyone will recognize what the name is. Like,
right,
you're
exactly.
what?
Or
And then,
Conan. Yeah.
you know, he'll give the ID and it says Luke Skywalker on it.
Right. Yeah. And I'm thinking maybe his wealth came from, you know, a bag of gems or, you know, something that he had from his fantasy world.
Sure. And then it was like, well, I mean, I think, what if it was just a secret account? Just for the sake, that way you're not having to get an exchange and we don't have to explain.
No, like he's long sold it and like.
But we're picking up almost immediately after you guys have all been freed. Like
Oh, like you're saying he's just arrived at Earth?
No, I'm saying the thing is, if he was captive, why would they have allowed him to go and like open a bank account with gems?
Oh, you're saying like he was captured and brought here?
Yes, he was captured, brought here. You've been working as a dilettante, as whatever position you've been working in, and then it's you
That's
were,
what you're saying.
yeah, and you're part of the group that all went out here. You were like, fuck yeah, burn it all down. Moe's character Amber was the one who had infiltrated the organization, and maybe you were supposed to catch her, and you did, and then we're like, I'm gonna say nothing, and you let her kind of investigate shit, and then somehow you may have been involved in getting Ro, Ingolf's character, out of his pocket dimension, the one that Brent's character was guarding, and then all four of you guys escaped together, you know, in a blaze of like.
Good.
Yeah.
And so, like, while I've been sort of forced to work here beyond my will, maybe one of the only things they've allowed me access to is television.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Is
so
that's
it's like do your job, and then you're like locked in this room for all your spare time. But you know, here's a TV with Netflix and you know or whatever.
And that's great because I've got
binged everything.
Each of your characters could have different things. Like the information I'm going to feed you guys to start off the thing is going to come from each of the different characters' backgrounds. Like, you will have more knowledge of the actual organization and what it actually does. Brent's character's going to have more, like, contacts that were ex-military and stuff like that. Ro's going to have some idea of what was going on in that pocket dimension, but not really much beyond that. And Amber's going to have connection with the weirdos in the kind of conspiracy community that got her involved in this this facility in the first place.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
Then
I'm almost imagining that, though, instead of like Netflix and modern TV, it might be even funnier if he had like an old TV with a VHS player and like you know, like this old library of like 80s shows and 90s shows on VHS or whatever.
Love it.
So, like,
so you watch like the Goonies and
right.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Exactly. Like Magnum PI and you know all the old shows.
That is
like,
so great.
Companies, like the sitcom you liked, you know, stuff like that.
Your character is I am the fantasy ranger, Magnum PI.
Exactly. Like that's like maybe that's even the name, you know? Like he
God.
just as like
Yeah, that's hilarious. No, that'll be great. That'll be a lot of fun to play in the campaign. Or in the at least in the adventure, so fuck.
And maybe he doesn't even get it. Maybe he actually thinks PI is his last name.
Yes. You feel free to play up any of that stuff. That all sounds terrific.
Okay, cool.
And the best is, you know, it's actually almost better that he's not an elf or whatever else, that he's just a guy so that people think he's a lunatic or like some kind of crazy cosplayer.
Yeah. I'd like to say he's like big and, you know, like he's like...
Oh, yeah.
He is like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Dave Bautista or one of these guys that you'd see him and be like, oh, look at that.
Well, you know what? I mean, geez, if you want to keep nerd stuff too, Joe Manganiello, the guy who played Deathstroke in the... Oh, gosh, he's played Deathstroke in Justice League. He's been in True Blood. He's a huge D&D fan. But he's he's a fucking monster of a man.
Yeah, he totally is.
Yeah, so that could be, you know, we've been doing casting in our, for each of our campaigns. You could cast him as Joe Manganiello if you want.
Yeah, totally. I like that.
Awesome. Cool. All right, cool. Then that's, we've got our new character. And that only took us, what, hour and a half? Yeah, we started at things, so that's pretty good. How do you like the character? Does it sound interesting?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Excellent. And very different from the others, too, which I think is going to be pretty cool. Excellent. Then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for our session 0.5 for character creation for our Threefold campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the campaign or the character we've rolled up, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. And in particular, if we fuck something up, please feel free to let us know. We had, fortunately, actually, Jeff, when we made the last batch of characters, we had the line developer in chat with us who was helping us figure stuff out, so that was really quite helpful. So if I did screw things up, please don't hesitate to leave a comment. In addition, if you don't want to leave a comment, you can reach me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Dungeon Musings. You can also shoot me an email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. And you can find a link to the description, or link in the description of the video, to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to this campaign, to all the other games we run on the channel, and so forth. In addition, you'll also find in the description of this video a link to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel. So the charity and donations that are made through that charity initiative go to benefit SOS Children's Villages International, a really amazing organization active in over 130 countries that provides direct benefit and supportive living environments for over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children around the world. You can learn all about SOS Children's Villages International by following through that link. And if you choose to make a donation, all money goes directly to help the people at SOS Children's Villages International provide those services to those kids. None of it goes to the channel. None of it goes to any middlemen. So, but last but not least, I want to thank Jeff for taking time out on a Monday to create the character. So thanks, Jeff. This was a lot of fun.
For sure.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun too.
Really cool character you came up with too. So I really like that. Then,
yeah.
We are playing this on Sunday, so if you're interested in seeing our actual first session of this, it will be Sunday, January 26th, I think. Starting at noon Central Standard Time and going for 3 hours. So what will happen to these four heroes? What is the mysterious organization that has them on the run? And what other organizations are interested in the outcome of our heroes' escape? We'll find answers to all that and more on Sunday. But until then, thanks for watching and happy gaming.